Shalom, modern self souls, but giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Double honors to the Apostle, great most, and honors to you brothers doing the work, the most in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name, of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, or Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh, and his son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, meaning in, meaning then Sham, meaning names Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Real quick, what with the election going on at the moment, and you know the entire world is watching, you know, to see what the results are gonna be, right? We're watching, of course. I mean, that's one of the things that we've been commanded to do, right? To keep an eye on these things that are happening in the world. This is Mark 13:33. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for you know not when the time is. So you know, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, one of the things the apostles have pushed on us is to, you know, always be, you know, keeping an eye out on these, you know, large geopolitical events, right? And this is certainly, you know, one of them, right? Or, you know, just watching in general, right? As you read here in the precepts. Okay, and you know, with this election, right, we're watching not from the way that people in the world are watching, because you know you get a whole load of people in the world that genuinely believe, you know, this system, right, this wine that is democracy, which is one of the things that Esau's been pushing out throughout all the world, right, to basically subdue the minds of the people, right, to give people the illusion of choice, right, which that's one hell of a drug, right, the illusion of choice. You think you've got a choice, but really you do not, right? Let me just pull this into the current screen real quick, right? So let me just do that, move to another tab, there we go. Right, so if you see here, right, this is from verywellmind.com. Psychology says the illusion of choice causes people to feel that they have a wide range of choices when in reality their choices are limited or predetermined. When you look at that, right, it says this belief can contribute to a false sense of control, right? So that is exactly what these people are going through, right? When he's setting up all of these so-called democracies throughout the world, that's exactly what he's pushing on them, right? This belief that they actually control, right? And really, when you get into it, it's the Most High that does that, right? Because if you are of a so-called Christian disposition, you might believe in free will, but the Lord never made free will, right? This is Proverbs 21:1. Right, it says the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water he turneth it whithersoever he will. Right now, the current, you know, king, right, of the world, the current rulers of this world, right, you know, these so-called elites, right, but they're just playing to the Most High's tune, right. Everything that they're doing, whether regardless of who wins, so-called, even if there isn't a winner, right, regardless of the outcome of what's going to happen later on tonight, right, the elites, you know, will have set it up, and ultimately the Most High will have set it up. Okay, we're not, you know, believing of, you know, these different things, and the Most High is just doing this just, you know, to show his power, right? This is Romans 9, right, and 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Right, so what was in fact, let me read it on, right? It says, therefore hath he mercy on whom he hath mercy, and whom he will hardeneth. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Right, because there ain't no resisting the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The Yahweh Shem Yahushai says you do something, guess what you're going to do? It says Sirach 18:3. It says, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will, for he is the king of all, and by his power dividing the holy things among them from profane. So the Most High ultimately is the one that's in control over everything. There ain't nothing you know, that does its own will, right? As you read that, all things obey his will, right? The Most High says something's gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen, right? In fact, let's just grab that real quick. Right, it's Isaiah 55:11. It says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Okay, So yeah, if the Most High says it's gonna happen, guess what's gonna happen, right? So when we're observing what's happening with these elections, right, we understand ultimately that there is an illusion of choice going on, right? To give people this belief that they have some kind of control, to make people invested, right, into the system, right? It's part of the wine, right? A democracy that has pushed out into the world. This is Habakkuk 2:15. Want him that giveth his neighbor drink, and that drink's representing philosophies, man. Once again, you get a lot of people that are going to be watching, today's events unfold, right, with a genuine belief, with a genuine like, you remember what was it in 2016 when Trump won so called the first time, right? I just remember seeing women all crying in tears and stuff like that, right? Even the fact of, you got proper Trumpites that are genuinely saying that Trump must win, referencing to people in the Bible, right? Which he is someone in the Bible, right? He's an Edomite, okay, right? And in history, we believe him to be the reincarnation of Nero, okay. So once again, we understand that ultimately, all of this is folly. But let me continue on. In fact, even on the point of folly, all you've been seeing with this election is great folly. And one of the things I meant to ask, which I might still do it because it's still time, right, is just how all the people that I know from different parts of the world just are wondering how America is perceived in the different parts of the world. Just how it is in like a place like London. You're around lots of people from different parts of the world. The so-called third world, or from so-called enemy countries or whatever, right? Enemy states like China or Russia, your Turkeys, your Eastern Europes and all of that sort of stuff, right? So it'll be very interesting to see how America's perceived, because this whole election cycle has been nothing but folly, right? As Ecclesiastes 10:6, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place, right? And that's one of the things that's really been pushed out. You've had Hulk, you've had Beyonce, you've had Taylor Swift, you've had, all of these different all of these different people coming on stage to basically support one or the other candidate, okay. And which I haven't seen all the different what's the word I'm looking for, all of the different um campaigns, which is what they call it, conventions, right? I haven't seen all the different conventions, right? But like the only time I've seen in the news that you've had people of seriousness being on the platform, right, was basically when they had the abortion doctors on there, right? So yeah, that place, man, that place is done, right? That place is done, right? You got the different nations circling like vultures, waiting for you got in the cartoons, right? You have like a character that's close to death, and you start having the eagles and the vultures start circling around them, right? That's what these nations are doing, right? Waiting for the fall of America, because America's done, right? There's no healing America, right? It's done, man, right? And this election cycle has shown you that, right? It's Jeremiah 51, and 7, okay, which we can continue to read into this, man. Jeremiah 51 is a great precept, right? But yeah, this is Jeremiah 51 and 7. So Babylon hath been a golden cup in your house hand that made all the earth drunken, right? We think about once again those philosophies, right? Democracy and voting being one of them, right? So the nations have drunken of all her wine, therefore the nations are mad, right? Verse 8 says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed, right? Now to us, right, this isn't, what does the scripture say? Let me grab that. This is Ephesians. Ephesians? No, it's like First Thessalonians 5:3, or 5:4. I just jumped to the point. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Why? Because once again, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemashah, the Lord has had mercy on us, such that we understand what's going on. We understand what this world is really about, right? Once again, not of ourselves. It is a gift that has been given unto us, right? Because once again, you have a lot of people that genuinely believe this, sh, right? But the Lord has had mercy on us, and we're like, this is, this is some BS, right? This is verse 5. It says, ye are all children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of the darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober, right? So we're watching, man, right? So where were we? Right. So let me grab this. This is Revelation 13:11 says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. This is talking about your two-party system, right? Because it's sort of like, why is it only ever two parties, right? Where is where is a third actual contender, right? Not like over here we had what the Lib Dems had a little coalition party and whatever. I don't know where are the third or fourth or fifth actual contenders, right? Why? Because it is Rome all over again, right? Just like how you had the plebeians and the patricians, right? Nowadays you got Democrats and the Republicans, right? Over here in the UK you got Labour and the Conservatives. It's the same trickery, the same witchcraft, right? Because ultimately, they'll be like, oh, are you left wing or you right wing, right? And it's like, yeah, but of what? Right, wings belong on a bird, so it's still the same bird. Okay, it's still the same power structure underneath. That's why you had, for instance, Labour come into the UK, which Labour is supposed to be like a force for the people, and what they've done with the most recent budget is stuck a big middle finger up to the people. Where if the Conservatives have done that, it would have been a whole thing about like, oh, typical Conservatives is what you get for voting Conservative, right? But this is supposed to be the nation, the party that is for the people, right? Showing you that it's all BS, right? And Jake ain't supposed to be even voting any damn way. It's Deuteronomy 17:15. It says, thou shalt in any wise send king over thee, whom Yahweh thy power shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee, right? And that thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother, right? So you ain't supposed to be voting, period. Because one, they saying, you may be like, oh yeah, but she might be a Jake. All right, cool. Like, let's play that game, right? But who is she representing, right? Who's Kamala representing? Right, she's representing the Edomite power structure, man, right? And ultimately, once again, as we understand, this ain't a these so-called presidents aren't even the real rulers, man. Okay, right? So he ain't supposed to be putting any heathens in power over us, right? But let me grab this Isaiah 30. But I'm actually gonna read it in the NLT, right? Says Isaiah 30 from the top. It says, "What sorrow awaits my rebellious children, saith the Lord." Right? It says, "You make plans that are contrary to mine. You make alliances not directed by my spirit, thus piling up your sins." Right? You see that then. And when you read Isaiah 31, right, it says, that trust in Egypt and basically trust not in Yahweh. See, we're trusting in Yahweh, but Shem Shai, right? Because we understand neither of what we just read it in Jeremiah 51:8. There ain't no healing Babylon. Okay? We understand that this place is done. Right, verse 2 says, "For without consulting me, right, ye have gone down to Egypt for help. Ye have put your trust in Pharaoh's protection. You have tried to hide his shade. But by trusting in Pharaoh, you will be humiliated. All right, and by depending on him, you will be disgraced. Right, because you're basically putting your trust in this devil. So when the Lord, drops them nukes on America, you ain't gonna be saved. Right, it says, "For though his power extends to Zoan and his officials have arrived in Hanaz, says all who trust in him will be ashamed. He will not help you. Instead, he will disgrace you." Right, which is why we speak so much about the MOTB, right? Because with the MOTB, right, it's the understanding that those that take it, right, they're gonna be destroyed. Right, those that take the MOTB will be destroyed. Okay. It says, "This message came to me concerning the animals of the Negev. The caravan moved slowly across the terrible desert to Egypt, donkeys weighed down with the riches and camels loaded with treasure, all to pay for Egypt's protection. They have traveled through the wilderness, a place of lionesses and lions, a place where vipers and poisonous snakes live. All this, and Egypt will give you nothing in return." Egypt's promises are worthless. And that's the point. Egypt's promises are worthless. Anything that, this American system can offer you, it ain't worth it, right? And in doing so, you're basically saying that this devil, you're trusting Esau. In fact, let me just read that in Isaiah 31, right, just to close out. Isaiah 31:1 says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because there are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. So as always, Lord, who does edify. Until next time we say, Shalom.